Hey, what's cracking? Hope this video finds you doing well today. I hope that you, my friend, have everything going your way. It's hot enough outside to fry an egg, so I'm inside where the air conditioner is today. And I hope that you also have a cool place that you're sitting somewhere today if you're hot. And if you're playing on a phone, if you have a TV, if you're able to go take a shower, if you have running water in your house, hope that if you have all these things, that if you're able to go out and sit on the front porch, even if it's hot, hope that if you have all those things, you're really thankful for all the blessings in your life. I hope that today you chose to pick up your blessings. And if it's the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, my name is Ricky Dye, and I went to prison in the state of Oklahoma for murder when I was 15 years old. I was there for 20 and a half years. And I can't do anything about what I did to go to prison. I can't go back and have a do-over. It just doesn't work that way. But what I can do is share my story in hopes of stopping it from happening again. And that's what I did. I started at the very beginning. You'll enjoy the videos best if you start from the beginning, because that's where I started when I was 15 years old. And what led to me being in the situation I was in, that led to me being in a place where a man lost his life, and what it was like to be certified as an adult and sent on to prison with grown men. And I share all the things that have happened to me in hopes that they'll never happen to you or the people you love. And if you have someone that's gone to prison or maybe going to prison, you have any questions, feel free to hit me up through the Facebook link in the description down below. And you can send me a message through Facebook Messenger, and I always answer those. Glad to answer any questions you may have. Today, what I wanted to talk about is something that I've talked about here and there in other videos, but is about people glorifying prison, making it seem like it really is a big deal to have been to prison or have done a bunch of time. And I remember when I was first in prison, when I was at Lexington and I was only 17. And I remember how I would used to dread coming out of visit, because they would put everybody in a little group and then they line you up naked next to each other, 4 or 5 guys across with 4 or 5 guards standing there and strip searching you, making you lift your nuts, turn around, bend over, spread your cheeks. And I would always try to get in the last group so there would be less people, because these other guys would try to get in a group with me so they could see me naked during the strip search. And I remember wishing, oh man, I wish I'd been locked up 5 years, 10 years. And to me, that meant something. And it's like automatically, if you've been locked up a long time, it makes you tough, but it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. It just makes you a dumbass. But what really hit me hard, and the reason I decided to make this video about people glorifying prison, is because I had a friend a while back. He had started to join a gang, and he thought the gang was really something. And a lot of these guys that were in this gang, I won't say what gang it was, but a lot of them, they make it seem like there's a lot of them, but when you get to prison, there aren't hardly none of them, and you get in a jam over being in those little gangs maybe. But he always told me he felt guilty that he didn't go to prison and do some time with the brothers. And I had a youngster tell me the other day, man, that he had thought about, going to prison so he could do some time with his partners that had done time. Like that would make him something. And that broke my heart to hear that you would want to go to prison. You would want to go so that you could say you've been. And that's what made me think about when I was young in prison, how I wanted to be able to say I've been locked up 10 years. Well, guess what? I got what I wanted. I ended up being locked up 20. And by the time I got that 20 done, I figured out I wasn't proud of being in prison anymore. I didn't want to be in prison for 1 year, not for 1 month, not for one day. And I have a lot of people hit me up through the messenger and on these videos, and they say, hey man, I did time, but nothing like you. Well, let me tell you, brother, if you did one day, you did enough. If you've had to go somewhere and someone make you strip your clothes down and bend over and spread your cheeks, buddy, you've lost it all. If you spent one night in that situation, my hat's off to you too, man. Because it's not a competition about who did the longest time. You'd do 20 years too if they made you. It doesn't make you strong. You do it because you have to, not because you're strong enough to. And a lot of guys think if I could just go in there and be in prison and hang around with these other guys, and then I would be something too. That would make me something, but it doesn't make you something. I spent 20 years in a penitentiary trying to make a reputation for myself, and then when I got out, it meant absolutely nothing. Yeah, everyone in prison knew me. Yeah, everyone in prison knew me. Everyone thought I was a good convict, a good white boy, and I was the man pretty much everywhere I went. But once I got out of prison, it didn't mean shit. I'm the lowest of the low out here. Everyone around me has more than I have. It's not anything to be proud of. And I'm going to give you a cautionary tale. I had a friend named Curtis. I won't use his last name. He was in the UAB, Universal Aryan Brotherhood. And if you were to go make a movie and you wanted some Aryans in your movie, he's the guy you'd cast in that movie. Muscled up. He used to use the free weights all the time. He's about 5, 6 years older than me, so he had done time when they had free weights, and he took advantage of it and worked out every day. And he's about 6'2", 225 to 240, somewhere in there. Tattoos all over him, lightning bolts on his neck. And he was one of the leaders of the gang everywhere that he went. And then he got over at Lawton, and Curtis was a good friend of mine. And Curtis was doing a life sentence without parole for something that he did when he was 17 years old. So he got in prison and he got buffed up. And now that they took the free weights, he still did push-ups. He still used the machine weights. He made water bags, and he kept his build. And he was everything that you could think of when you picture an Aryan. Big, muscled, tattooed up. And he ran shit everywhere he went. And he always ran a store. And I used to borrow from his store all the time. And me and Curtis became really good friends. But Curtis ended up over at Lawton. And I told you he had a life sentence, never going to get out. But he had a girl that he had known in high school that had a crush on him in high school, started writing him letters. And come to find out, that girl had become a lawyer. And she thought that she could get Curtis down to a life with parole and get him out on parole. Because Curtis had been on level 4 a long time. Hadn't really got in no trouble. He's in the Brotherhood, but he had managed to dodge the bullets. And so she wanted to try to get him out of prison. She was in love with him. And she said, Curtis, I think I can get you out of prison, but not as long as you're in this violent prison gang. You're going to have to get out of the gang. I can't get them to do it for you when you walk in there with this prison tattoo on your neck and you got this stuff in your jacket that you've done for the Brotherhood early on in your time. Even though you're on level 4 now, it doesn't show that you've changed. I need to show that you've changed. You've had level 4, you've been good, and you're out of the game. That's what I need for you to do if you want to come home maybe someday. And so Curtis went back to the unit, and he talked to all the brothers. And the brothers love him. And they said, Curtis, we want you to have a chance to go home, man. It's all right. You can cover up. So Curtis covers his tattoo up. He covers it up. He bows out of the Brotherhood. Well, it was okay as long as those brothers were there. But then those brothers shipped out one at a time, and new brothers came in. And it's all a popularity contest. The guy that's at the top of it one day may be at the bottom on PC the next. Because it's a popularity contest, and whoever has the most friends, whoever can get the most followers is who has the most strength. And there were some guys in there that didn't like Curtis. To them, he was a cover-up. They don't care what the reason was. Don't give a shit that it's going to help him get out of prison. You're a cover-up. And to them, a cover-up is just as bad as being, almost as bad as being a catch-out. Almost, not quite, but almost to them, in their eyes, to them, you're a cover-up. That's worse than never have wearing it. So, next thing you know, they go and 3 of them robbed Curtis. I told you he ran a store. They robbed him, and then they told him, the unit got locked down over a big fight, and they told Curtis, if you're still here when the doors pop, we're going to kill you. 3 or 4 of them. And they were very serious. They were truly going to try to kill him. They had beat him up real bad and took his stuff out of his store. Now, everybody's locked down in the day room, but he knows as soon as they open the door up, these guys are going to stab me if I'm still here. So Curtis done the unthinkable. He caught out. He asked the police to protect him. He went to PC. He took the tattoo off his neck. He put it all in this girl's hand and stay on PC until this was one of the top brothers. This was a guy that would strike fear into most men. If you seen Curtis walking up on you and he was pissed off, you'd run from him, regardless if he caught out or not. Curtis was a big bad dude, but he wanted to go home, and he thought that the brothers would understand. But man, there is no understanding with the brothers. It is what it is, and that's all it is. And that's why you never want to go to prison to be a part of the brothers, because the brothers might end up turning on you. And if you're white and you go to prison in the state of Oklahoma, the number one threat is the brothers. The number one threat against you is the other white boys. They're the ones that's going to push up on you. They're going to test your heart. They're going to decide if you're worthy or if you aren't. And if you're not worthy, you're a target. It's like the law of the land. If you're not at the top of the pecking order, you're at the bottom of it. And that's all there is to it. So you think, oh, well, I'll get in there. Well, I'll just join up with them. Well, you may, but then at some point there may be 4 or 5 brothers over here that don't like you, and you only have 1 or 2 brothers that do. And the next thing you know, the numbers will decide what happened, and now here you are in an unthinkable position. I've thought about it a lot of times with Curtis, man. I really looked up to Curtis, and I really had a lot of respect for Curtis, and I thought a lot of that man. And I always thought to myself, what if it would have been me up there in that cell? And they would have told me they would kill me when the doors were at, if I'm still here. What would I do? And I've watched a movie called, people have asked me what kind of movies I like about prison, and I told them that American Me was a realistic prison movie. And at the end of that movie, he knows they're going to kill him if he steps out. And he steps out and gets shanked by all of them and killed anyway. And I think that's what would have to happen to me. I could not go to PC, man, no matter what. But it's easy to say that when you're sitting there and you're safe. And you don't have to worry about these guys killing you as soon as the door's back. I only know that I would face up to it because I faced up to it in McAllister. And I'll talk about that in some other videos. So this video is short. It's only 11 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that none of you guys are thinking about going to prison just to be one of the fellas. I hope you don't think it's cool to go to prison. I hope you don't think that it means that you're any tougher, because you are no tougher because you go to prison. You just survived that. That's all you did. You survived it because you had no choice. Didn't mean that you're tough or strong because you've been in prison. That's not what that means. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to some people. Had a shout out from a guy that just says KIPPAA. Gave a super thanks for the last video. I want to thank you for that. There was a super thanks from I Hate Stupid People. Well, I hate stupid people too, but really, man, I love everybody for what they are. So, but thank you for the super thanks. I Hate Stupid People, and thank you to Scott Tillman for the gift and support of the channel, for helping me out. I want you to know it came at a perfect time. I couldn't have come at a better time. My sister was down from Texas, and I was broke, and it really helped me out. And I want to say thank you for that. Shout out to the riders and dyers. Riders who ride till the wheels fall off, and the dyers keep riding even when they do. Love you guys the most. I always want to put that out there. If you need any construction work done anywhere in the United States, Mid-America Construction, you ask for Ben Seaborn. If you need some plumbing done down in southwestern Oklahoma, down there around Idabel, you can call old John Doe. And if you need some pest control in Oklahoma, DOA Pest Control. Those are my little commercials I throw in there for people that are trying to hustle and come up, trying to do things right, and they're hustling and they're good people. Then I feel like me doing that is the least I can do. So hope all you guys stay safe. May God bless, keep and protect each and every one of you until I see you again. Peace out.